So I try to watch my original conversation with him, but I was reading some comments and some people were saying Harris is a bit too harsh, a bit rude to that guy. And I think I was. And I think I was for a reason because I can smell a bullshitter from a mile away. And I'll play how he lied to us. He said, "Oh, try to butter me up." He was like, "Oh, no, I'm on your side. I'm an ex-Muslim atheist," and clearly he's not. And I'll play that. I'll show all I'll show you all the evidences. So anyway, so I sensed something was wrong there. So I just wasn't interested. If someone is posing to have an honest conversation with me, I will give my best to have an honest conversation. As you probably have seen, a lot of people come and we have honest conversations. But the moment I get a hint, and it could be just a hunch, I could be wrong, but this video that I'm about to play to you would prove that I wasn't wrong. So I was just a bit, like, screw you. I'm just going to go after you. But anyway, so this guy came to us, gave me lessons on philosophy, which again, just splitting hairs, and it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, okay, fine. What's the point? But the end goal is this, okay? Whatever. So he went to Armin Navabi, and he just outrightly lied about Nuria and me, just outright lies.
Just literally put words in our mouth completely.
Literally, I will show you. And I will show you what exactly I actually said. But I think Nuria, he was really straw manning and lying about you. So I think it's probably best that you explain yourself. That why are you such a bigot? Apparently. So this guy Ibn Qayyim, he was with us. He was Ibn Taymiyyah, I think.
I was going to say that wasn't the name he came on to talk to us with.
Nah, but it's the same guy. It's the same.
Yeah.
Guy. You can recognize his voice.
Yeah.
More people are going to see it because of it, right? Like this is like, I mean, a lot of people are going to be curious, don't you?
Yeah, I agree, but like I saw the response to the protest by do you know Nuria Khan from the Harry Sultan show, and she said by protesting they're breaking the law by protesting, and this is a person who wants to be a solicitor. She's doing.
That's a misogyny. The first thing I did, I changed the name of the show. That I don't own the show. It's like we're equal partners, and the Sunday Scoop with Khan and Sultan. I even put my name at the end, but this is inbuilt misogyny in him. Here's the axiom.
Yeah. This is
That's the axiom.
More misogyny to come. It's not all over. Don't worry, fellas.
Yeah. So listen to it.
In a master's in law, she thinks protesting against a film, peacefully protesting. Because I went to the protests. I actually went to one of the protests.
Of course you did. You were definitely one of those. Of course. What else would you do with your Tuesday evening, mate? Of course you'd be there.
The ex-Muslim atheist went to a protest.
To shut down a film made by a fellow Muslim.
Yes. What a hypocrite. But anyway, so Nuria, by the way, you're getting a degree in law, and let me finish this point.
Violence. There was no calls for any attacks on Shia or anything like that. But
nice
she thinks that they should either stay home, right, or they should go watch the film. I mean, this is the UK. You have a right to peacefully protest. How else do you show?
What's her argument?
Her argument is that if you're living in Britain and we don't have blasphemy laws, then you can't protest against the film. That's what she thinks.
Is that what you said, Nuria? Have you ever said that? I don't remember you ever saying
I don't think so. This guy, he is absolutely insufferable. Like, I've seen him knock about in other situations as well. And the way he literally puts words into people's mouths. First of all, the fact, like, the hallmark of any democracy is the right to protest. And that's literally the point of living in a democracy, that you have the right to protest and you have the right to hold your politicians accountable. And like, these are all like embedded in the very notion of a democracy.
Axiom number one.
Axiom number one, yeah. And if, by the way, we have seen in the UK, the government has attempted to try and like stop protests by, introducing these kind of like subtle laws. And I will push back against that all day, every day, because the right to protest is one of our fundamental rights in a country like this.
Protest against a protest is also a fundamental right.
Is also a fundamental right.
And that's what you were doing. You were protesting to their protest. You didn't say that I put them in jail. You didn't say that.
Exactly.
Did you say that? I don't think you ever said that.
Not at all. And insofar as their protest was peaceful, which is fine. That again, you are completely entitled to do that. What I'm saying is that the pandering by the cinemas and the management and the government and the lack of law enforcement coming there to, say this, what your protest. See, look, there's a fine line between peaceful protests, which he obviously claims that was. But there's also a fine line between bullying and intimidating tactics, right? And a lot of these incidents, when they were showing up in front of the cinemas, it was very much towing that line between being bullying and intimidating, to the fact that that poor manager of the cinema did not know what to do. He wasn't ready for this level of backlash from fellow Muslims. So when I say there's no blasphemy laws in the UK, what I'm trying to say is that you have every single right to protest, but the fact that they should actually listen to you and take a movie down because of your intimidating tactics and the fear of what would happen, the escalation, if they don't pander to your needs at that time. Because let's say you don't have a great track record, let's be honest, okay? You don't. The last set of people that you want to antagonize are Muslims who feel very radically about their religion and their hurt sentiments over religion. So yeah, by all means, you have the right to protest. Please don't put words in my mouth. Honestly, you're not even a pleasure to talk to. You're just irritating. You're absolutely insufferable. And the word that you used to describe me, I don't think anybody besides
we'll get to that.
We'll
get to that.
In a playground.
No, we'll get to that.
We'll
get to that. We'll get to that. But we're just. So I hope you understand. I hope he understands. Where's this guy? I hope you understand.
I hope you understand my axiom. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So our axiom is freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of conscience.
The right to protest. It's all yours.
It's all yours, but
it's ours too.
You fake ex-Muslim atheist, you should know that we can also protest against your protest. It's a very simple idea. But anyway, that's not where he ends. We're just gonna keep going. And Armin is trying to understand, and this is like this Pape Kutni, but have listen to it.
Thinks he's so retarded. I mean, she's like, there's something wrong with it.
This is what he said. He calls you retarded.
I know.
Like, what is it?
He protested because I went to the protest. I actually went to one of the protests, and there was no violence. There was no calls for any attacks on Shia or anything like that. But she thinks that they should either stay home, right, or they should go watch the film. I mean, this is the UK. You have a right to peacefully protest. How else do you show?
What's her argument?
Her argument is that if you're living in Britain and we don't have blasphemy laws, then you can't protest against the film. That's what she thinks. She's so retarded. I mean, she's like, there's something wrong with her, I think.
Hey, be nice. Like, why are you being so rude?
But that's what she actually is. She's a retard, so we have to be honest.
Wow.
No, okay, so
if you start using words like that and then say that you're part of peaceful protest, it does make you wonder.
Opinion. Maybe that's her, like,
It's still retarded.
Okay, so for example, if I say
it's still retarded.
Hey, you should
what the hell?
Put the milk in the fridge right after you use it, okay? And then you're like, you think it should be legal? I'm like, no, that's just my opinion. I didn't say that it should be legal. I just said, like, I think you shouldn't do that. Like, so for example,
no. She actually said someone came on the show and said, oh, Muslims. So a Muslim came on the show and said, oh, we should follow British laws, etc. Do you know, when we're living in a non-Muslim country? She said, how are you following British laws by protesting against this film? So she's actually talking to the legality of the situation.
Okay,
Okay, so this is that guy. What's his name? Shafiq or what? No, what's that guy's name? It's got a Bradfordian accent. The guy when he came.
Maybe.
Yes, Sarfraz. Yeah, that's him. So just to give a bit of context, I remember that conversation very well. How did that happen? So we were talking about he conversation went on, and again these guys shift goalposts. So we say, okay, let's grab him from here. Then they get away, and then we say, okay, let's grab him from there. So he said something like. He said, "Oh, we respect the laws wherever we live," and then we say, "Okay, if there's a law where if in the West you have to support LGBTQ or whatever, like you have to support it, then why do you speak against it? And Islam doesn't allow dissent. So in that case, would you respect the law there that you're not allowed to discriminate an LGBTQ person?" Then he said, "No." So that was the point. The point was, if there is a law that you're not allowed, and we're not allowed to discriminate LGBTQ, yeah, we're not allowed to discriminate on the basis of gender or religion or whatever.
Yeah, Equality Act.
What? Yeah, so you can protest, but that protest is not going to go anywhere because we have this Equality Act. So he said that no, we don't have to believe in that. So that was the that was the background. We never said that you're not allowed to protest. What he said that we have to respect the law of the land. You're not really respecting it, are you? If you're protesting against freedom of speech, which is a primary tenet of this of these countries,
yes,
enshrined
exactly.
in a way of life, you are allowed to protest against freedom of speech, but you're not respecting freedom of speech. That's the reason why you're protesting, right? So that was the point, and he totally. I don't think. I think. I'm sorry. He's mentally not well. He probably needs to see someone. Whatever his name is, this fake ex-Muslim atheist. I mean, if you need some help, I'm more than happy to recommend you some people. But I don't think he's lying. I think he genuinely got it wrong because
he did it completely. It went over his head completely. He didn't. I think it went over his head. Completely twisted it all and put words into our mouth and completely, literally, just deconstructed and turned that argument all upside down. The fact that, as you're saying, freedom of speech, we don't have laws in this country where we need to suppress art because it hurts your little sensitive feelings. We don't have that. So that's the legal. So your little protest is fine. You've got that right enshrined in the law. Go for it. As long as you keep it peaceful, there's that massive caveat. But at the same time, there's no response necessary or required by the law to listen to you and pull down that film, as was done all across the UK. So that's speaking to the legality of the situation. Also, I find it incredibly weak of you you say you listen to our streams every single week, every minute of it. So I'm sure you're listening to this, to go around to other people's channels, put words into our mouths, completely misconstrue our argument, misrepresent our views, and to almost tattletale. I mean, I'm not surprised given the kind of language that you use, which I'm sure if you were woke enough to realize those terms aren't thrown around in society anymore. That's actually a slur to people who genuinely were called those things once upon a time, who actually have
it's literally the N-word.
Mental health issues. Exactly. Yeah. So first of all, fix up the way you speak. If you're the representative of peaceful protests, enshrining your right, then you're not a good poster boy, first of all. And to run around to other people's channels and telltale with fake arguments with words you put in our mouth is such a cowardly move. Come on here sometime and chat to us one-on-one so you can't go around to other channels.
He did it
and
last
put
time.
Words into our mouth. Well, he clearly wasn't getting the point that we said, so come back and hash it out again. Don't fake arguments and opinions of ours and try and get it called out on other channels. That's just not going to fly.
So Satya is saying I was supposed to have a debate with this Qayyum guy on Kashmir, but he backed out at the last minute. He's truly an ex-Muslim. I think he stated that he doesn't like you. A lot of people don't like me, and I don't care whether you like me or not. But let's have a look what else he had to say.
I don't know. Maybe you're misrepresenting her. Okay.
No,
but also okay, but I have to hear myself. I don't know what her argument is. Okay, but people have bad opinions or wrong opinions, and you could just tell them why they're wrong. Why do you have to I'm sure I have some wrong opinions. You know what I mean?
Well, I've tried my best to explain to these people how why they're wrong, etc. They don't seem to be able to learn. They lack
axioms. He tried to explain to us the axioms and how Daniel Haqiqat you won. Yes. This is one legendary ex-Muslim atheist.
The ability to learn things. So it seems to be an issue with these two people in particular, Harris Sultan and Nuria Khan, where they seem to have an inability to learn.
Learn from you. Mate? I'm not going to learn from someone as stupid as you.
I just think you should get your head out of axioms for a change.
He needs to get his head out of his ass.
It's a way of you have a better opportunity at getting people to listen to you if you were nicer about it. You know what I mean?
I try to be nice. I've tried to be nice, and it's quite clear. I come across better, but if they don't learn anything from being nice, then you have to be harsh. Another opinion
your
she had
peaceful
last week,
protest, yeah?
I mean,
we're trying to be nice. We got the film taken off, but we did it really nicely.
I just want to know, who does he think he is? It doesn't show his face, doesn't show his name. We don't know who he is, and he wants to school us on something.
Changes his name,
and if we don't buy it, I'm sorry, if we don't buy it, then he has a right to be harsh.
yeah, exactly. The threshold.
They don't listen to me.
I've had one chat with them, and then they don't learn. They don't want to learn.
No, what is it, bro? I don't think you're an ex-Muslim atheist, but if you are, I think you are probably better suited to be a Muslim. You know?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
listen to me. Let's pull the knife, the sword out. Okay,
Oh,
but
gosh.
he just made an. But this will show you where his headspace at. Have a listen to this bit when it's going to come up. I think it's not too far away. I think right now he's just having a little suki suk. Let me play this.
He's definitely Muslim, by the way.
There was a news
Yeah, I don't know, but there's some other guy saying that he's probably an ex-Muslim, but who knows? I don't know. I'll speak
I
to
don't
Armin
think you'd
about
go
that.
to one of those peaceful protests if you were an ex-Muslim
Maybe he
and
was
then come
covering
out
it.
and defend that view. I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Maybe he's a rat. We need to be
And why
mindful of
why
it.
does he keep Muslim names as well?
I know, yeah.
Ibn
Like, what the
Qayyum,
hell?
that's one of the most prominent figures. But okay, sure, you're an
Ibn Taymiyyah as
ex-Muslim.
well.
Yeah.
story in which they said 45% of hate crimes in the UK are conducted towards Muslims. Now, considering they only make up 5% of the population, that's quite high to consider. Almost half of the hate crimes are towards one particular group, which represent 5% of the population. And the news story said that the government were going to dictate a certain sum of money to tackle these hate crimes. And her response was, why are the government wasting money on this group of people when they are the ones? We as ex-Muslims need protection. We as ex-Muslims need protection. Why are they dedicating money to these lot? I mean, what a sick individual! You come from a story in which 45% of hate crimes
really
So
did my head in. This was painful to listen to because I was like, "Are you?"
We actually said that. We actually said that in the video that you.
I have acknowledged the fact that hate crimes, I mean, even by the stats, that is happening against Muslims in the UK. That is a problem in itself.
We're the ones who gave him that fact. That's that. We're the one who gave it to in the same video. We're the one who told you about that. What we raised the point on was that they're doing this on this. On Muslim, I don't think we even criticized that the fact. I think what we said that it's just ironic.
I mean, if they need to tackle hate crime, then by all means, they're going to need to put in procedures and use funding to do that. And also, why would we want hate crimes against Muslims to be on the rise? Because in the same breath, that would put my mother and father and sister and brother and cousin and aunt and auntie and grandma in danger.
Armin made the same point.
So I don't understand why you would so again, just putting words into my mouth is just, it's really, really disrespectful because it's just pure misrepresentation here.
I think it's because when people who don't have very deep, when they're confused with their own axioms, and their prescriptive statements become descriptive statements. When these people are all confused with all of that, they have a world where he's made an opinion of you and me. So even when the words are coming out of our mouths, he's actually interpreting it
in the way
according to his own bias.
Yeah.
According to his own bias or whatever his opinion of. And I will show you the clearest example of that as we get to the next part.
Towards a particular group, and then it's all about her. It's all about her group. It's all about whataboutism. It's all about this and that. He said this group of people, the 45%, they are dedicating hate towards us.
Can you send me because I don't know, she's not here to put things in the correct light or stuff, right? Can you send me the clips?
I'll send you it on email. I'll send you the clips.
Because I don't know if this is a misrepresentation. I don't know if it's correct.
I wonder if you sent it.
You can watch it for yourself. Also,
I really hope you did.
Recently, with regards to the protests.
Here we go. So here we go.
In India, by Muslims, etc. This was his response. I feel sorry for Indians who have to live with 200 million of these people. That was his response to that.
Wait, say that
so
again?
He basically, so with regards to the recent protests in India by Muslims against, the so-called blasphemy nonsense, right? He said, it's so sad that India has to cope and live with 200 million of these people, these Muslims. Like he's essentializing a whole group of people, including.
This is what I meant by how he sees words coming out of my mouth and he's interpreting them in his own way. Have a look what I actually said. I don't know, Nuria, if you got a chance to, like this video that he was referring to about the 45%
I didn't get a chance
video,
to see
whatever.
It, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have said that. Otherwise, we would have known. And this is the evidence how he misinterprets these statements while as they are being delivered. Listen to what I actually said. This is the very first line of this video. Listen to this. Almost newfound sympathy for Indians. I wouldn't say Hindus. I would say Indians. because that includes everyone. It includes Sikhs, it includes Buddhists, it includes Jains, it includes Christians of India, that they have to put up with nearly 220 million. Again, not all of them, but that mentality. Not all of them. I actually said not all of them. And what actually I was talking about is not even the Muslim, it's the actual mentality, this attitude of, we have those who insult Muslims. I have said it numerous times.
Fanatical mindset. That's what you're referring to.
I have said okay, so let me qualify that even more. I even thank science. I actually said not all Muslims, because this is the world we live in. When someone knows about me, you can watch that. This is the Lady of Heaven video. You can watch that in detail. You can watch the whole context. But let me explain that again. What I actually say about this thing. First of all, you have people like Robert Spencer. If he says something, you can immediately think, because he has a track record of making bigoted statements towards Muslims. I don't. The largest, I will always keep mentioning it, keep reminding it, the largest online petition in the history of Australia was made by me in favor of Muslims against a racist Senator Fraser Anning. I did it. I'm not an anti-Muslim bigot. I've got tweets, I've got videos upon videos upon videos, both in Urdu and English, where I have spoken for bigoted behaviors towards Muslims. So you could argue, even if I had, let's just say, not said that, not all Muslims, I had earned the right to not be labeled as a bigot. But this guy would, because he's a coward. He's an idiot in his own mind. He lives in his own bubble. And that's why he's just interpreting it the way he wants to interpret it, because he's already said he doesn't like me. You know what? You don't like me? Fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't like you either if I met you, because you are an absolute idiot. I was talking about the mentality, which I spoke about even earlier, that all Muslims, I would bet my life 90% of Muslims in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh would agree with this statement, that you are not allowed to blaspheme against Prophet Muhammad. Okay, now you go a little bit further into it. Okay, what should be the punishment of them? They should be killed. Okay, now that percentage might drop from 90 to 70 or 60 or whatever. We had seen some Pew survey results, but overwhelming majority of Muslims everywhere across the board, India, Pakistan, or in the West, you ask them, they have a very strong view on blasphemy. Yes. Okay, that's the mentality I was talking about. That's the 220 million people, more or less, I'm talking about. Now, have I ever said that they actually go out and commit murder? No, I've never said it. Not even in that video. I never said it. I was talking about this issue regarding blasphemy, like, oh, no one should be allowed to blaspheme. That's what I was talking about. And that's simple. And I stand my fact again. 200 Indians, all the non-Muslim Indians, let me make a bigger statement. All the non-Muslim Indians, I feel sorry for them that they have to put up with a group of people who think that blasphemy should be a crime. Okay? Majority of Muslims do believe blasphemy should be a crime. And that's the mentality I'm talking about. Now, when you go further and further into it, that's when you realize that, okay, they have different attitudes or different remedies to counter these blasphemies. Behead them is one of them. Don't talk to them is one of them. Deplatform them is one of them. I don't want to have anything to do with them. That's one of them. But unanimous, overwhelming majority of Muslims agree that blasphemy should be illegal. Now, that's sad. That's sad. Well, forget about Indians, 220 million. The whole planet, I feel sorry for them, that they have to live with a group of people who think that just a thought could be a crime. Just a mere thought. Muhammad married a 9-year-old child. What a terrible human being. Oops, that should be a crime according to overwhelming majority of Muslims. What's so wrong about that? Now, again, go and interpret it the way you want to interpret it. You wouldn't. Because, well, you would. You're an idiot. So you probably didn't even deserve a special video response, because, as I said, you're a nobody. We don't know what's your name, what you look like, what you stand for, either you are an ex-Muslim atheist or not. Nobody knows, even though you said it in our first video conversation. You did say you're an ex-Muslim atheist. I strongly doubt it. But yeah, that's the kind of people we have to put up with, by the way.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.